Yeah, we gonna keep it a buck.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. You know how I like to do it. Let's get right into it. A new update in the case of Breonna Taylor, the young lady who was killed by three police officers in her home. They had the wrong house and they were looking for somebody they already had in custody. Gross negligence. Well, the identities of these officers have been revealed. So I'll have to read this one. Sergeant Jonathan Mattingly, Detective Miles Cosgrove, and Detective Brett Hankinson. Those are the three officers who are responsible for her death. Now, they were at the wrong location looking for somebody they already had in custody. They went to her location, to her residence. She was laying down asleep. She was an EMT worker. So her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, opened fire thinking somebody was breaking into their house. Somebody was trying to kill them because the police were shooting just through the windows. So in the midst of him trying to protect the family from them shooting, she was murdered, hit 8 times. They fired dozens of rounds. Now, their identity have been released. So now we know who to bring to justice for her death. And related to the same story, Kenneth Walker, he was arrested on attempted murder charges for shooting at the police who never announced who they were in entering their home. And it's not funny, but a coincidence. They arrested him for attempted murder, but one of the police officers were shot in the leg. Who was he shot by? A fellow officer, friendly fire in the line of duty. You can't make this stuff up. They're arresting him for attempted murder. He didn't hit anyone. The only cop that was shot by fellow officers. If you're shooting that much to where you shoot a fellow officer while trying to perform your job, I don't know how to end it. I just want to say bad things. So their identity has been revealed. We have to help the brother Kenny Walker in his charges of attempted murder when there was no attempted murder. They messed up. They made a mistake, a fatal mistake. They have to be brought to justice for their crimes. Now, another news. It's a brother that was murdered in LA County 2 years ago. Name is Kenneth Ross. He was a young brother who was killed on body camera, murdered by Michael Robbins, a LA County police officer. Now get this. The cop had an assault rifle. Kenneth Ross was unarmed. The police officer murdered him. The other officers on the scene, he instructed everybody to turn off their body cameras. Everybody turned them off, but there was one officer from another precinct who didn't turn off his body camera. And that's why we have disturbing video, which I will not show here because it's graphic content. I know some people do want to see the video, but I'm telling you what happened. You go look it up. And just in case there are minors or young kids that stumble across my videos, it happens all the time. So that's why I won't be showing the video. But the police officer murdered the young man, told the other officers to turn off their body cameras. One officer from another precinct refused to turn off his body camera. He knew there would be consequences, and you will be in with the rest of those officers who turned off their body camera. So they turned off the body camera, and then the one officer's body camera just shows everything. Them covering it up, saying he had a gun. There was no gun. The gun turned up later. The man had no gun on him in the video. The gun turned up later after the rest of the officers' body cameras was turned off. People always try to figure out why our community goes so hard against the police. True, some people, like myself, I used to believe there were some good officers. There are still some good officers, but they get punished for speaking out against these heinous crimes. And I'm sure the officer who kept his body camera on during this murder is probably going to suffer some consequences from his job. It's ridiculous. But you can't let fear stop you from doing the right thing. You cannot let fear stop you from doing the right thing. Handle yours. Stand up for something. You will help people in the long run and also help yourself. You will have allies and fighting against evil. It's sad. And it's the police department. They are truly getting out of hand. They've always been crooked and corrupt, especially in New York and LA. But this has to stop. It has to stop. So I have to shout out the viewers who reached out to me and send me some stories and updates on Breonna Taylor. I really do appreciate that. The email, keepitabuk51@gmail.com. And also don't forget the Instagram, keepitabuk51 at Instagram. So I'll leave a link, of course. And you can reach out to me on there for news stories or comments. And don't forget to leave your comments below. Also, finally, before I get out of here, some sad news, some more sad news. I promise I will have some positive stories for you. 2 stepsisters, 119, 131, were found over by a bridge, under a bridge, with bag on their heads, and their clothes were tattered. There is no other information at this time, but they were in Georgia. I believe this incident just happened today sometime. Hopefully, if somebody recognizes them and knows what happened, their killer can be brought to justice. I just hope it's not a retaliation for the people protesting and out there for Ahmaud Arbery, because this is really sad. And I know sometimes after a demonstration or protest, there are people who are harmed in retaliation for people standing up for something wrong that has happened. So please, any information, let your local police department know, or the local authorities. And if you don't feel comfortable letting the local authorities know, always know there are people out here that you could reach out to. You could reach out to somebody you trust on social media that will get the word out, and they have these other organizations that stand behind people. Any information on missing people, and if you have any positive news that you want to share, graduations, somebody doing good, clothing lines, companies, you can also reach out to me for those stories too. It doesn't have to be gloom and glum all the time. We do have positive things happening in our community. That's it for today. Peace.